Good God, let's eat! We have Scott Rowe, DB, back in the day with us when we played at the Olympians, an inductee of the Hall of Fame. Welcome to the family, bro. Bring it in, man. Cool. And thank you for your time, man. We just wanted to spend some time with this to reminisce, man, back in the day, man.
Yeah, it was. It is back in the day, isn't it?
It was.
I mean, I actually remember, I was thinking actually today, when I knew you guys were coming up, I thought to myself that, how can we go back to playing Acorn Invaders versus Kent Brown?
Look at this, look at this.
Right? 1987?
87 or 88, yeah.
Like
I think you guys had Stefan Healy there as well, and Mark Lawrence. Oh my days!
Yeah.
Do you remember those days, man?
Man, those were amazing. Yeah.
And you know that AstroTurf, man, that was like 1G.
1G is an understatement, bro.
With a whole heap of sand on it. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
But that's where our career started from, bro.
That's it.
That's where we started from.
From there, that's where it's from. Like, we've both gone through the system of, sort of Olympians, obviously, and both gone on to do other things and stuff. We went, for Europe and all that sort of thing. I went to the States.
You went to Nichols? Is it Nichols
Yeah,
State? So tell us a little bit about that, man. How did that?
Amazing.
How did the opportunity come around?
Yeah, I mean, for a kid who comes from sort of South London.
Yeah.
To go out to deepest Louisiana, because Thibodeau is right down in the bayou.
Yes, bar.
I mean, it's proper.
You ain't gonna tell me.
Yeah.
That's deep south.
Yeah, it is, and to be immersed in that kind of football culture, and just actual culture in general, is it was just amazing. As far as football experiences go, it kind of made me kind of what I grew into.
And having an opportunity, right? Back then, we're talking about like, let's say about 30 years ago. It was kind of like unknown for a British kid to have an opportunity like that, to go to a big school like that and play football at the same time.
Do
you know what I'm saying?
Like I said, I was very lucky, very blessed to Coach Andy Cox, rest in peace.
Yes,
fantastic coach, and was the defining coach that kind of made me and installed in me the values of what I believe football should be played, how it should be played. I was lucky enough for him to get me out there. And it was just, like you said, it wasn't many people back then doing that sort of thing.
For sure.
Exactly.
And like I say, those experiences out there and playing. I mean, I remember my roommate, my sophomore season, was Darryl Pounds, who went to the league. He was a third-round draft choice of the Redskins. Played in Washington for 3 years, then played with the Broncos for 3 years. So 6-year NFL career.
And that's how close the affiliation is, right?
That's what.
That's how close the affiliation is.
And
without a doubt.
Seeing those differences and where you have to get to, that's something which I think. Was the real catching up to the speed of the game. That's the thing that I found. Because I was a good player over here. So when you go over there, and the speed of the game is you've just got to adjust. Otherwise, it's going to be left behind.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not like you haven't got the tools or the skill sets to do it. You just got to catch up.
That's it.
I get it.
And you got to want it as well, though. You're going that far. That's a big commitment. You ain't got no family, no nothing. You're just out there by your job.
Scott was one of the wave of players as well back then.
Yeah.
That when we played BritBowl, but at the same time you were playing European semi-pro football as well in other countries as well. What just remind me, where did you go? Because I know that you played in Europe.
Yeah, well, I was lucky enough that when I came back from Nichols, I first experience of European football was in Madrid, which was amazing. Madrid Panteras went out there with a few other Olympic guys, Richard Dunkley and Bob Dean, for the same season.
Was that 95, 96?
It was 96 that was.
Yeah.
96, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, talking about football experiences, so all those years of going up the motorway on a coach, right? Crystal Palace, up to Leicester, Birmingham, Nottingham, right?
Yeah.
My first away game when we got to Madrid was to get on a plane and fly to Mallorca. We played the team in Palma, Mallorca. And I was on the plane, I was thinking, oh my God, all these years, right? We've been going up the motorway, stopping the services on the M1.
Yeah.
And now, my first away game with Madrid Panteras is in Mallorca. I mean, that was like, wow.
That's crazy, yeah.
Something, yeah.
So you're going to Mallorca and balling at the same time. I get it, man. I get it.
It was great. And then after that, I went played in Germany for Lee Rowlands.
Was it Hanau? Hanau Hawks? Hanau Hawks, man.
Yeah, Hanau Hawks.
I remember that.
Imagine reminiscing, boys, going back.
I remember that.
Hanau Hawks, man. The great Leroy Innes was out there with me.
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic because Germany's a long season, as you guys know.
Yeah.
So it goes on for quite a while. So you spend the best part of the year out there.
Yeah.
I think I was out there from like March till October or something. But that was a fantastic experience. That was a real kind of introduction to football. There's a level of football there, and the Americans that are out there, really good quality. So you have to be on your game. It's not like I probably sound a bit. I don't mean this to sound rude. But
Say it like it is, bro.
I think nowadays a lot of people get to go out and play in Europe. I think back then you had to be the elite. You had to be on
Yeah, you had to earn it. You had to earn the sport. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think again, fantastic experiences. So I spent a year there, and then a year in Stuttgart as well, sort of thing, with a good friend Hammer, Pete Murray. Sort of thing.
Oh, Hammer was out there as well.
Yeah, Hammer was out there.
What year was Hammer out there?
That would be in 97.
Right.
No, 98. Sorry, 98. 97 was when I was in Hanau, and then the next year I came down to Stuttgart. So.
Well, weren't you playing BritBowl then? Wasn't you at the finals in 1998?
Yeah, I was still coming back and playing.
You played both?
Yeah.
Not 96 and 97, but yeah, in those other years, I finished at Olympians in 95 kind of thing, and then when I came back, it all gone a little bit funny. It's like I think there'd been a restructure.
They changed to the O's,
down
yeah.
to Division 3 or whatever it was back then. But yeah, I mean, amazing experiences. Wouldn't swap it for the world.
Yeah, without a doubt.
We could reminisce about this stuff all day. There's so much content and jokes and stories, etc.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
For sure.
Right.
So, are you still involved in the game in an aspect?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of found a little bit of a niche for myself, and I'm really loving it. I'm the GB Under-19 head coach.
Okay. Congrats for sure.
I've been in that role for almost 3 years now, and it really has become something of a kind of a mission for me. I think for me, what I want to do is I want these kids that these young men, right, to have the experiences. I was lucky enough to play for GB at both junior and senior level. I loved it, absolutely made experiences for life. We obviously have been out. I think all three of us. Right? Bolzano, wasn't it?
Bolzano, in Italy, yeah. We were talking about it
on the
today.
way up,
Yeah, because me and Leroy Innes were at Hanau that year, and we drove down.
You drove down.
Germany.
That's right.
To join
Oh
you
yeah.
guys.
We had like a company car, little purple little car. You had a little purple car.
Automobile. It was a micro. But yeah, so we drove, and the friendships and stuff that I've made through GB, as well as obviously being with Olympians and stuff. But yeah, I kind of just want to get the next generation of players and young men to have that pride of playing for their country, forming those bonds. I mean, what's great for me is I see the kids from, we get kids from like London, from Manchester, from Newcastle, from Bristol, who all integrate on these trips, and you'll see them going out, shot something, they'll be like, a Tamworth kid, a London Warriors kid, a Blitz kid, who otherwise would have no purpose.
Yeah.
But then they're off, and we're giving them, I hope we're giving them experiences that they will take away with them for the rest of their life. I mean, we recently went to Dublin to play a game against Team Ireland, which was a fantastic trip for us, and we also got to see the Georgia Tech FSU game that was in the Aviva Stadium that weekend, a couple of weekends ago, and just to see how much they bond just in that short period of time, like 3 days we're over there, it is amazing. And we're trying to build that program. We're trying to install in these young men the values that I think are important, in football, but also in life.
Yeah, it will pass on to outside of football.
Because you always talk about the family factor in a football team, right? And the life skills that you learn from football that you can take away from football and use them in life. The patience, the discipline, the respect. The list just goes on. These things that you learn from the sport.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said that for me, football is the greatest team sport in the world because you need so many factors to make it, be the case. I mean, obviously individual sports like maybe golf, tennis, and that you're very much like it's all on me.
Yeah,
athletics. It's all about you've got to focus on yourself. I think with the numbers that are required to be successful in American football, it has to be a whole group effort. I mean, these things factor in so much that I just think it really does install that sort of teamwork thing. And, no one succeeds individually. It's like as a collective, you've got to do that, and that's what we try and install at GB.
And
for me, I was quite lucky because I knew when I was coming to the end of my playing career that I wanted to be a coach. I knew I wanted to be a coach, and I think for me that transition it wasn't easy because obviously all of a sudden, I mean, my first year coaching was really difficult because I would be on the sideline.
And you want to go play?
Because I'd see things, you know how you see
things,
It'd be like, right, why has he not gone and done that? Why has he not broke down on that route or something? And you kind of, it's still in you because you've only just recently retired. And
you're in that transitional phase.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
It's taken me a few years to get to that point where I'm a lot calmer as a coach now. I mean, my first couple of years coaching, I was very sort of like, what's so cool is that?
But I got a question for you as a coach, man, because I pretty much did the same sort of thing at the Olympians with God rest his soul, Neo, and Michael Dunson and Exa. At the Olympians, when I started coaching there, I think the first thing that I had to get my head around was the mentality of the player. Now, the mentality of the player for me was different to the mentality of the player that I used to play with when I was a player. So that's the first thing that stood out with me, making that transition and getting my head around that. Once I got my head around that, Scott, I was good to go. What was it like for you?
No, it's exactly that. I mean, what I found was like what motivated me as a player, isn't what's necessarily going to motivate, the next person, this kid I'm trying to, teach or sort of coach up. And it was something you have to learn as a coach. Not everything works. You've got to treat some players will react to the, to a bit of like, cajoling and a bit of come on, you do better than that. Blah. Other players will shrink away from that. It's not the way to motivate them. You've kind of got to find as a coach. This doesn't happen immediately. It can't happen immediately just because of the very nature of it. It's all very organic. Is you kind of learn that over time. Like you've got there and you think, I can't get light a fire under this guy. He might have all the physical tools, but I can't light a fire under him. Why is that? And it's like maybe his motivations and what drives him, you haven't quite found yet. Do you know what I mean? And not every player's the same. Like I say, you can't have a rule where you're going to, right, that's it, I'm going to treat every player like this. Every player needs a shouting at. And I'm not like that. I'm not a shouter as a coach. And I just think you've got to find that. And that's something which is really hard to do because if you've got a team of we've got like 100 kids on our under 19 roster. And I'm not at any point saying that I know them all. But I try and think of how do we get this kid motivated? How do we get him to be a better player so that he might be disappointed because he doesn't make a travelling squad? What do I do to push him to that point where he makes the next travelling squad? Right. He becomes a better player and goes back to his club a better player. So,
do you know what? I've just realised that the game has started. I just realised that the game is. I'm always interested in Scotland. To the BritBowl.
No, but you know what? You don't think about anything when you're playing. You just think them shouting at you was the only way to get you to work. It's crazy.
We're gonna have to wrap this up, man. But Scott, listen, hey,
appreciate that,
brilliant,
bro.
man. That was love. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Come on, old man. Got that share.
That's right. Our guest, we've got Colin Nash, and he's just been inducted. Was it this year? This year, inducted in
2024.
There you go. Inducted into the BAFA Hall of Fame. Welcome to the family, bro.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
No worries, man. I just want to have a quick chat with you, man. It's about just about football in general, and your views on how it was back in the day. But you know as well as I do, and he's sporting the Birmingham Bulls, man, because that's his number. And we went to wars with this team back in the 90s, man.
Let's not go there.
We went to wars back then, man. And just comparing like how we used to play then to what you see today. I mean, what's your view on that, Colin, man?
Well, Several actually, because again, you know, the game itself has kind of moved on somewhat, but there's definitely an old school vibe with some of us older ballers, and we kind of question whether or not, you know, they've taken the physicality out of the sport.
Definitely.
Which is all well, because, you know, it's all about safety, which I haven't got no problem about at all. But yet, from old guys, you can look and go, man, that's not popping, that's not, you know. But it is what it is. It's all for the progression and the safety of the sport, which I'm all for anyway, so all good.
I hear that, and I mean, at the end of the day, you're right. The safety is a top paramount thing in the game, and the only unfortunate thing about it is it's taken the sting out of the game. It's taken that, seeing them people line up. I mean, honestly, could you play like that? Could you play like how you played back then today?
Well, we got half a dozen guys up, of us old ballers up in the stands who are all saying we want to get kitted up now. It may not last all the game, but you know.
You lot will come out looking all yellow, because I'm sure you're putting out the world of flags, the way you guys would hit.
We'll make probably not even one quarter, bro.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, get ejected so quick.
On the defensive side of the ball, I mean, the game has changed so much with regards to the way you go in on tackle, the safety. Okay, yeah, on the QBs, which is a fine thing. But if you think about it on the offense, running backs, wide receivers, there's no real change. They still can do exactly pretty much what they did when I was playing, like in the 90s and noughties. That bit hasn't changed, but the way the defense plays, that's the change.
Yeah.
We've been pulled back, absolutely. And it does make life hard for defensive coordinators out there, because not only do they have to curtail the players' aggression, they have to make sure that they're curtailing that aggression in a positive way, so that, you know, they're not going in 100%. You know, they're kind of holding back, which I think is taking something away from the defense and giving it a more offensive type of advantage.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you know, me and Hasha spoke about this before. It's they want it to be more exciting. You know, so more high scoring. So they've taken. If you think about it, we used to go 100 miles an hour to make a tackle. You can't do that now. But then, how do you go full speed and slow down at the last minute to make that tackle without, you know, getting a penalty?
Very subjective, because yes, that is difficult. It still comes back down to coaching. But at the same time, we can make it just as exciting for the defense. Defense have plenty of opportunities to score. You know, turnovers, fumbles, pick sixes. That was demonstrated in the Nottingham game.
Right.
Big 97 got a fumble return.
Okay.
So defense, you know, they've still got some weapons that they can still use. But overall, yeah, it may take a while to get a kind of equality on both offense and defense. It's definitely more offensive focused at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Colin, are you still around the game? Are you in a coaching capacity at all? Are you in and out? What do you?
Yeah, I'm still involved with our club, Birmingham Bulls. Not in any. Well, no. Let me just get this right. I dabble in all the positions, kind of thing, you know, and just give a kind of a base overview and assist.
Like on a consultant basis, is it? Like?
I call it quality control. QC.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, anywhere I can impart my knowledge to both coaches and players alike, you know, to kind of better the game, then I'm there wherever is needed.
Cool.
It's good, man.
Mr. Colin Nash, appreciate your time, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you, bro.